Holy moly. I'm excited. Thanks for joining us today. Treat for you now. Nothing better to be that cold autumnal weather than a comforting sweet treat.
Yes, Marcus Bean is here for the perfect thing. What are you making for us today?
I am making you a perfect sort of autumn treat on this rainy day. We've got a sticky date pudding, sticky toffee pudding with a salted caramel sauce. I mean, you've got it in front of you.
Even just saying that out of your mouth sounds lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just lovely voice. It's that accent, and you should. I told you before, you should do voiceovers because when I listen to you, oh look at that, it's nice and warm. When I listen to you, honestly, I go into a bit of a trance.
I know. I was just
can't help it.
Well, you know,
if
you need me.
Sauce on, put your sauce on.
Do some bedtime stories. I don't know, something like that'd be work.
Oh wow.
So I'm going to talk you through how we're going to do this. So
Yes,
we're starting with dates. So dates are the most important thing. They're natural, lovely,
Sweet.
sticky. You actually grabbed a date earlier and came and popped it in the butter. What a
works,
great idea that was.
Have you ever tried it?
You gave me a little taste earlier. It was delicious. So with the dates, what we do is chop those up and then obviously remove the stones, pop them in some water, and we boil them up just to soften them. And then we add a little bit of bicarbonate of soda, and the bicarbonate of soda just basically breaks them up. So it causes a reaction, it allows them to sort of puff up. And when you pop these in and they're boiling, it then sort of just breaks them down, and then you can literally just get your whisk in here and just sort of crush them, and it allows them to become this sort of like paste.
Marcus, the dates always in sticky toffee pudding?
Yes. I mean, some people can use raisins, but most traditional recipes will always have dates in. Yeah. Always got that flavour. And that's what gives you that sort of sticky, rich, sort of almost like molasses-y flavour. And then, of course, you can use different types of sugar. I use a dark brown sugar because I think it gives you a rich, more sort of caramelised molasses flavour.
You're going to do it, right? You might as well do it,
You've just got to go all out, haven't you? So that's now come in and broken up. So we've got our dates in there.
Mary, mother
and all I've done is butter and dark brown sugar. And I've just literally brought this together. So essentially just creamed this in a bowl. Really, really simple. And then, rather than using that, I've got the dates here, but actually you can see this puree now. So that is, again, actually that just on your toast in the morning. Oh, delicious.
So what have you done for that? Have you just mixed it up?
Literally, yeah. So it's the same here. So in the pan, you just break it up, and then that makes it into this lovely paste, and then you just add your paste in. And then, of course, you can then start to add in your different ingredients. So it's actually a really simple recipe. A lot of people think sticky toffee pudding. And there is loads of different recipes. You can have different things you can put in. But this is sort of like my go-to favourite recipe. One, because we can make it in advance. So, you know, we're always thinking, especially now, it's sort of half-term with the kids at home, you want to make something that's quick, and they want a little treat. So this is fantastic because you can make it a day or so before and then just cook it when you want it, and it's really quick and easy. And I don't know, I've always been a bit of a stickler for desserts. I mean, I grew up in a pub and I didn't have a kitchen, so I lived above, and it was like, what do you want for dinner every day? There's a menu. And that was my life from the age of 5. But I was always like...
You were able to eat ham, egg and chips from the age of 5?
Steak, kidney pie, steaks, everything, yeah.
And you always had a pudding?
Best upbringing ever.
Yeah, great for all your mates coming over, pints of Diet Coke and then all that sort of stuff.
So you couldn't, it wasn't dinner until you had pudding?
Yeah, well, it was only, when we took on the pub, and that was when I started to teach myself to cook. But one of the things I used to love was going downstairs into the fridge, and of course I had a fridge full of desserts. So I'd go and grab a little banoffee pie or a bit of sticky toffee pudding, and that was always my favourite thing to do. So I think I've always had that love for desserts.
I'm the same. My uncle had a restaurant, my uncle Michel, who's French, and when we go and stay with him, it meant that I could have all the soft drinks that you'd never normally have. So it'd be like that.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't even like them. It'd be like bitter lemon or ginger beer or something. Out of a can, or like you think it was so glamorous.
It was all those amazing things. So I was quite lucky in that sort of respect. But I think it always gave me a little bit of a sweet tooth growing up. So when I started making desserts, I'm always sort of thinking of different flavours I can add in, combinations, and also because.
What was your favourite dessert from the pub menu?
Oh, do you know what? This has to be a classic for me. I've got to see it on every pub
noticed, like some desserts, you know, you go to different places and it doesn't really work out. But sticky toffee pudding, every single time, there's no matter where I've been in the world, they're always good.
They're always good. And I think everybody's slightly different, so you can have different flavours. So just on this one, I've added in the dates, creamed the brown sugar and the butter. Yeah. I've added in now some flour and a couple of eggs, and I've now got my treacle, which is a lovely recipe. Some people might use a bit of golden syrup, but treacle gives you, again, that dark, lovely, rich flavour. So we whisk all of this in. That goes in. I'm also making a salted caramel sauce, which I'm going to show you in a little second.
To blow my socks off.
Oh, look at this. It's just... a bit of work out here as well. So,
other question.
So
if you
there we go.
had to choose, if you had to choose 2 courses, would you go starter main or main dessert? Discuss.
Main dessert.
Main dessert. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Every time, main dessert.
Sweet. So just over this side, I'll come back to this sort of mixture in a minute. The salted caramel. Literally, salted caramel, super easy to make caramel, sugar in a pan, bring it up to temperature, get it lovely and golden, and when it's nice and golden, you add in salted butter, or you can just use unsalted butter and then add in some salt after. So this is the sauce that you've got there. You could serve this with custard or butterscotch sauce, but the salted caramel sauce is a bit special.
Marcus.
It's a bit of a treat and something a little bit different.
Just do the sauce.
Oh, look
just
at that.
come in and just go, there's your sauce.
So the butter goes in, and then once that butter's gone in, into the caramel, then you basically add double cream, and you just bring it up to boil.
It's a double cream in it as well.
Oh, yeah. You just got this.
I mean,
it's not a day for like you can possibly find.
Well, when they said you could do a dessert, I was like, well, I might as well go all in. I'm not going to do like come and sort of put like a no sugar recipe in. I think you've got to
50%
you've got to have those. It's that balance.
It's like when my mum cooks, like she does, and then at the end she'll go, "And would you rather cream or creme fraiche?" And you're like, "Are you joking?"
Mary Berry always said you should always have a little bit of something and just you enjoy those treats. So I've made these in little moulds. So this mixture now literally just goes into these moulds really simply, and you can pipe them in, and you can fill these up about 3/4 full. And I oven bake them into the oven. And once they're in here, then you pop them into the oven, get them done.
How long do you need
They
to be in there
literally,
for?
a couple of minutes generally.
Is that all?
Sorry, not a couple of minutes. 20 minutes.
Say, that's brilliant.
That was me doing it. 20 minutes in the oven.
If you hadn't corrected that, it would be the most disastrous recipe. I think we would go, I cooked it for a couple of minutes.
Luckily, we've got the recipe online, so you can go to the website. It's all on there. And then once I've done them, the reason I do them like this is because this is a great way of doing them in the pub, but it's also a great way at home because actually you can make them like this and you can turn them out. So you give them a little shake, they come out like that.
That's perfect.
And you end up with this perfect little mould. And then what you then do is steam them to reheat them. So you can do this 2 or 3 days in advance, have them ready, steam them so it makes them soft and gooey.
And by that, is that just in a steamer or like
in a steamer?
Like a veg steamer?
Yeah, just like a veg steamer. And I do a little hole in the middle.
They not fall apart when you steam them?
No.
What do you put in your little
because
hole?
Because they're so solid, because they've got the flour in there. What do I put in my little hole?
Yeah, what do you put in it?
Oh,
a bit
caramel sauce.
Oh, so that goes inside it?
Inside, all around it, over it. A little bit of this, sprinkle over the top.
You do some salt just to...
Oh, my God. So it's really important, actually, when we talk, because, when I'm teaching people, a lot of people say, talk about salt, and they get a little bit worried about, salt, having too much salt in your diet. And it's really important to balance the amount of salt.
Yes.
If you don't have enough in your diet, it's not very good for you. If you have too much, it's also not very good for you. So you have to have that balance.
At the end of the dessert, suddenly, he's got a conscience about what we should and shouldn't be eating.
But at the same time, if you haven't tried, and the reason people love salted caramel is because that salt draws out the flavour and balances the sweetness. And it's the same with chocolate. If you have a bit of chocolate and you put a bit of salt on top, it's just like a game changer. And that allows the food to come alive and you just go, oh, my God, that's it. And it's like heaven. And you just dig in, like...
Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm going to go for it.
Go on, get involved.
Because I've got to get involved.
This is the money shot.
This is the money shot.
Here we go.
Oh.
What do you think? Is it
That's
good,
so
Marcus?
When you make food and then you realise it's really good.
That, by the way, is your life.
I mean, that is just like, there you go. Job
Spoon drop.
Boom.
Do you know what? I could listen to you all day long.
All day long.
Thank you very much.
This is the most quietest I've ever been because I just like to listen to you.
Well, I enjoy coming on. And I think the thing is... I think also the desserts like this, it's something that you just want that's rich and delicious and moreish. And also, I think for food, for me, it's super important just not to worry too much. Like, go in the kitchen, enjoy it. If you've got a recipe, have fun with it. Get involved. And also, don't worry and don't panic too much. You haven't got one ingredient, tweak it with another.
You're amazing, Marcus. Listen, you can find today's recipe and more delicious ideas from our chefs on This Morning app. Thank you, darling.
No problems. My pleasure. I'll go for that one.
Lovely stuff.